Hello and welcome to The Score via my YouTube channel. Yes, this channel has gone a little unloved in recent years, and by a little I mean I have a YouTube channel, but I'm back on it, and this is where we're going to share new video content for the programme. The radio show has been so well supported by you over the last number of years, and indeed the podcast since we introduced it. We felt it was time to add a new element, and some of the feedback we got was that people would like to sit down and be able to watch the interviews as they're being done because they're enjoying them so much. So thank you for that. That's inspired this. We've done a couple of videos in the past, and we'd thought about doing more in the studio, and then 2020 happened, and yeah, limited access to the studio. It's been a weird time. Hopefully you've been enjoying the programs from home. They've mainly been phone calls, of course, but now this opportunity to bring you in a little bit closer to the guests that we're interviewing. And we start with a cracker, I must say. The new Northern Ireland boss, Ian Baraclough, made his maiden squad announcement ahead of his first game away to Romania and then Norway at home. Both matches behind closed doors, unfortunately. We know the reasons behind that. But we were able to sit down and have a chat with him one-on-one to find out his thoughts on the squad that he selected and, of course, the one player, unfortunately, that he was unable to select. Ian, obviously, just over a week now from the first of your matches as Northern Ireland manager. I'm sure this is the moment you've been waiting for. Exciting times.
Yeah, it seems a long time coming, actually. A big build-up, so to speak. So it's I think everyone's been looking forward to, obviously, me naming a first squad, whether I was going to make any sweeping changes, whether there was going to be any shock omissions. But no, listen, the squad of players that's been selected are players that have been solid for Northern Ireland. They're again players that have got first chance at it, I suppose, to make sure that they stay in future squads. And there's no reason to leave people out or to make it, say, any sweeping statement with a squad selection. A couple of the lads that are in there, Shane Lavery and Joel Cooper, are players that are young players, but say Shane has been in squads before, and Joel is obviously coming in having just got his move to Oxford. So there's an exciting one there. But the rest of the players are good, solid players that have been very, very good for their country, and they deserve their call up. Yeah.
You probably would have preferred it to be an easier first squad selection in a sense. Obviously, we know Liam Donnelly's injury is not ideal, but even less ideal is the Mark Sykes story, and you obviously wanted him to be part of your squad, and he's told you otherwise.
Well, injuries are a part and parcel of this game, as we know, and it's a cruel injury to Liam, because he'd come back, started the season well with Motherwell, came back in great shape, and was looking forward to a European campaign as well with Motherwell, and now he's having to battle his way back from having a minor surgery, and hopefully he can come back as strong as he'd been at the start of this season. But no, again, that gives other people opportunities, and it'd be wrong to skirt over the Mark Sykes issue as well. It's come to light over the weekend that he wants to go and play for the Republic. That's his right and his decision, and he's told me that he's thought about it long and hard, and has come to this decision. So we have to respect that decision and move on, and that gives the likes of Joel Cooper a chance. So it all has a knock-on effect, and hopefully this is the start of, say, Joel's senior international career, and I think he's got the personality and the ability to go and back that up as well.
It must have come as a real shock to you, though, the Mark Sykes decision, because I mean, he's called Windsor Park home. You've selected him plenty of times as his under-21 manager. Were there any indications that this was something in his thought process at all in the past?
No, I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Mark, as you say, has been part of my 21 squad from when I first took over. I think I've seen him grow, develop, played a small part in his development. I'm very, very disappointed for the previous coaches, managers, people that have influenced him, down his short career so far. And I think, it was all pointing towards a bright future with firstly with Oxford United, getting a move over there, and then with the senior squad. And for us as a nation, it's disappointing when you put so much effort into their development through the underage system, and you get them so close to being in a senior squad. Although he's even been in 3 squads, and to find out that he wants to move over to the Republic is disappointing, and so disheartening in the fact that you've put so much effort and time into helping him become a player that he is at this moment in time.
Devil's advocate, he's not in the Republic of Ireland squad that's just been announced. If he was to come back to you and say, "I've made a terrible mistake," would you be willing to have that conversation?
Well, them discussions I've left with him. I've put my side to him, as I think many other people would have done. But he's got to come to a decision. He's made a decision. If he turns around, before that paperwork's done to go to the Republic, it's for me. I'm still open to discussions. I think it's very difficult for a young player to make those sort of decisions. He'll have family influences around him. He's got an advisor. I've put it across to him that I don't believe that he's been advised properly. I don't think it's the best for his footballing career at this moment in time. But I may be biased on that, and hopefully he doesn't regret it in years to come, Michael. That he's made the wrong decision. But look, I've had a great relationship with Mark. I'll continue to do that. I'm not the type of person to bear grudges, and I want to see him flourish in his career and do well for himself. But I don't believe that the decision that he's made is one that necessarily benefits him at this moment in time.
Back to the squad available. I'm sure Irish League fans would be glad to see. I mean, nearly a third, I think, of your team have come through the Irish League at some stage. Obviously, Shane Lavery is still a part of it. Will Linfield. How important a pathway do you see that being for your squad in future?
It's always been a big part of my selections with the under-21s, and just because I've gone up to senior manager doesn't mean that I ignore the Northern Irish League. I think there's some very, very talented players there, and Joel Cooper is now leading that pathway for others. It's he's fresh from just leading the Northern Irish League. He's been with Oxford for a few weeks now. He's certainly impressed their coaching staff since he's been in with them, in and around them. I think he'll make an immediate impact with both Oxford and coming into our squad. And again, that message that it sends out to other Northern Irish League players, I think is massive, and that they've got a future in the game. If they're playing well for their club, they'll be noticed.
And does it increase his chances of maybe getting a substitutes appearance if he's not in the starting 11 with everything that's happened now? Get them capped.
We'll have to see how he comes into the squad, how that squad then develops over the week when we're together, and decisions haven't been made on that starting 11 or substitutes, and so we just have to see how people come in, and hopefully, listen, training is competitive, and people stand up and say, look, I can't be ignored, pick me, and that they're the decisions that will be made next week.
And it's a strange one, isn't it, in terms of going to Bucharest, a travel bubble, all these sorts of weird and wonderful things you're having to consider. I mean, talk us through the kind of process there. How different is it from what anyone's used to?
Yeah, we've had to make sure that say everything's. We've taken the advice from UEFA. All the medical staff have been well versed into what's right and what's wrong, best practice to make sure everyone is safe whilst being together. We're in a privileged position. We've been given this chance by not only UEFA but the executives and people around Europe who are making decisions on a daily basis to make sure that people are safe, keeping people safe. People have lost their lives. We have to remember that, and we're all desperate to get back to some sort of normality, but not at the expense of losing more lives, Michael. And it's something we've got to be well aware of when we do get together. There's been some high-profile cases already in respect of people breaching the lockdown rules, and we don't want to be part of that. It's we've got to make sure that we adhere to the rules, and we make sure that we've got these opportunities in the months coming forward to keep making these journeys to play football.
And in some ways, you know, you're right. Obviously, there's a bigger picture, but it must be personally a bit disappointing to not have the Green and White Army there for your first game, because the atmosphere is always something that stays with you, isn't it?
Well, it's something that I'll keep looking forward to. When we come back here for the game against Norway, it'll be strange for sure. We know that that's going to be behind closed doors, but hopefully we've helped lead the pathway with the Irish Cup final being played here, albeit 500 fans, but it's a start. And you know, I think there are talks of fans starting to come slowly back in to watch games, and hopefully we can be at the forefront of that. And you know, to have the fans in the National Stadium, Windsor Park, will be a sight to behold again, and something for me personally. I'm desperate to have the backing of the Green and White Army and to sample it.
You've told me before that these Nations League games, you know, this isn't a warm up for the Bosnia match. They're very important to you in their own right. Do you still feel that way? You know, I'm mindful that some of your squad haven't played for several months.
I do. It's going to be a bit of a fact-finding mission as well. But you know, some players will be joining up with the squad having not kicked a ball in anger since March. But you know, other managers and coaches have got to deal with that as well. And we've tried to keep on top of that as much as possible. You know, the players staying fit within their clubs when they've all joined up for pre-season. Those lads that are in Scotland have already played some competitive matches as well. So you know, everyone's at different stages, unfortunately, and you know, it's something we have to go and contend with, and we will do. But you know, coming around to Romania away, Norway at home, you know, we'll be ready. We'll be raring. We'll be competitive, and hopefully we'll be in the right frame of mind and physically ready to go and get some positive results.
And the very last one from me, Ian. Obviously, there's some exciting young players nipping at the heels of the senior squad, waiting to get in. The likes of Alfie McCalmont, obviously new deal with Leeds. Also Ethan Galbraith. How far away are those guys from, you know, your long-term plans?
Well, them two seem to be the names that keep being thrown about, but there's more young players that are going to be meeting up with the 21s with Andy Crosby next week as well. They'll be desperate to catch the eye. And you know, you're right. Then below that, the age groups below that, we've got a bright future, I think, ahead of us, and hopefully we can nurture those players through the system and make sure that they at the right time, when it's right for them. And you know, this squad that I've named at the moment, say, have been given the shirts, and they'll be desperate to hold on to those shirts. So you know, for me, it's just because I've come from the under 21s, it doesn't mean that there's a shoo-in that those players get brought into this squad. They have to earn the right. They have to go and play well for their squads. They have to, for their clubs. They have to be consistent. And with those consistent performances, you know, they'll be hoping that they get brought into the senior squad. But you know, there's a challenge there for everybody to keep their place and make sure that they come in next week in a positive frame of mind, knowing that they want to play 100% for Northern Ireland and do the best for the country.
Brilliant sentiments to close on, Ian. Thanks very much for your time.
Cheers, Michael. Thank you.
The thoughts of the Northern Ireland manager, Ian Baraclough. Not a shabby way to kick things off on our YouTube channel, is it? Now, if you enjoyed that, please hit like on the video, subscribe to this channel, and share the video on with your friends. For what it's worth on the Mark Sykes thing, just to quickly offer my thoughts on it, it's naturally very disappointing and obviously frustrating for Northern Ireland supporters who have watched him in the Irish League, have watched him come up through the under-21s and younger, and wanted to see him pull on the green jersey, play for the senior squad. And obviously there was an appetite at one stage for him to do that. He's been in the senior setup. He's been on the bench for Northern Ireland. And I can understand anybody that feels disappointed or let down because you invested so much time in this guy that you thought was going to be potentially a future star for Northern Ireland. What I would say is there's nothing wrong with being disappointed. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with his personal decision, but we should respect that it is his personal decision. So let's not let it get into the territory of abuse. I've seen some comments online which frankly are ridiculous. If you don't like the system, I totally sympathize with your frustrations about the system. Let's not make it about an individual's choice. Let's not pick on a person for the right to make that decision. as hard as it may be to accept at times. I wish Mark all the very best and hope that he does succeed with the Republic of Ireland, except if and when he faces Northern Ireland. And hope that's taken in the spirit that it's intended in. That's all I have to say for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, or even if you didn't, let us know your feedback on it. We'll aim to improve. This is just the first of many more to come. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.